Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers. And real quick, Johnny, I'm sorry I'm not wearing your hat, man. I got to leave here shortly. You guys, again, Johnny made this to me. I'm waiting for him to get a website so y'all can check it out. I really love that guy. I love you all so much. Good morning to everyone. Happy, what is it, Thursday? Happy Thursday to you guys. I'm a little bit of emotional this morning. I'm a little bit all over the place. I had a lack of sleep last night because I found a homeowner that, basically got absolutely wrecked from a home builder. We have a structural engineer report. We have all these things, and she was a victim of the industry. She wasn't represented. So again, I'm a little bit all over the place, guys, because here's the fact of here's the reality of the situation right now as far as the housing market. The last man standing wins. So we're in a situation right now, you guys, and the term is this: usually when everyone else doesn't want to buy, that's the perfect time to buy. Right. So in order for us to get there, a lot more people have to feel that right now is not the time to buy. So that's why I'm saying, you guys, the last man standing wins. And usually what I'm talking about is our emotions. Now, here's the thing. Here's the reality. Here's the facts of the situation. The lack of fundamentals in the housing market in 2023, 2022 is worse than 2008. It's worse, you guys. The lack of fundamentals is worse right now. And a lot of people are like, well, back then there was fraud, right? Mortgages, stated income, lack of guidelines, right? Fraud. The thing is, guys, is this time the fraud is free money. The fraud this time is low interest rates. The Federal Reserve, whether they did this on purpose or not, injected low interest rates and free money into the bedrock of our economy and our housing market. And now, as a result of that, the inflation right now in the housing market, prices in the housing market are incredibly sticky. And as a result of it being sticky, what I'm really, really worried about, guys, I'm sorry I'm so emotional, what I'm really, really worried about, and I see this happening, people are going to lose hope. People are going to lose hope, and they're going to give up, and they're going to stop increasing their purchasing power. And, I'm terrified that that's going to happen, you guys. I'm absolutely terrified that's going to happen. And we have to look, at what happened last year. We have to look at the sentiment last year and remember what the realtors and the investors were saying this time last year. Okay. They were telling me, Travis, you're crazy. Show me one metro area with year over year price decline. That's what they told me last year, you guys. They said, show me one metro area, just one, with year over year price decline. Guess what? Right now, we have 60% of the largest metro areas right now with year over year price decline. This is nothing new, you guys. And here's the thing. Everyone knows right now the housing market is broken. And sadly, you guys, a temporary rebound is part of the cycle. It's part of the cycle. Now, the power of the rebound caught me a little bit off guard, excess savings, things of that nature. But the thing is, guys, I just see people falling for it. Now, I know this is just my opinion. I understand that I don't have a crystal ball. I understand all of those types of things. But, just again, after talking to this lady last night, I mean, everything that I'm telling you guys, all of the warnings that I'm saying, these are not just warnings. These are facts. And unfortunately, sometimes in order to learn the lesson, people don't learn until it's too late. And I don't want that to happen to you guys. That's all I'm saying here. But anyways, sorry about that, you guys. Good morning to everyone. Good morning, RNT. Good morning, brother. Christina, Kim, I appreciate you. Dental coverage. Don't move to Texas. I saw Johnny. Where's Johnny at? I saw Johnny. I saw Jeff. I love you guys. I really, really hope that I don't want anyone to be a victim. You guys, the industry is broken. Okay. The industry is absolutely broken. And it's not just the consumer's fault. A lot of people blame the consumer, for the fear of missing out. But I got to tell you guys, consumers aren't trained to review an 80-page document, like from a new builder. Consumers are, unfortunately, guys, they're not prepared. And these professionals are experts at emotions. Instead of learning about how to use data to advance people's home buying journey, they learn how to rebuttal and cheerlead. And I'm just terrified. So I am siding with caution, you guys. But anyways, what we're going to do today is a few things. I'm going to have everything time-stamped. And again, good morning to everyone. We're going to start by briefly watching a short video. I want you guys to watch this video because this is a video of the woman that I'm going to be interviewing tomorrow. And I'll have that video out tomorrow, Friday. And you guys will really, hear from someone other than me. You're going to hear from an actual current homeowner. And they're going to tell you their experience with their new home build. And you guys, I almost shed some tears. I'm not lying. I almost shed some tears for this lady. I mean, it hit me last night when I pulled up the engineer report. How lonely it is, how much these people that were in need, they just wanted a house. They just wanted a normal house. They were bullied. They were bullied and demeaned because they wanted the new home builder to do the right thing. So you guys, she had no representation. These people had no representation. They didn't do an inspection. They trusted the new home builder. And the fact of the matter is this is what I'm saying. And I don't mean to knock realtors. Realtors, there are some great realtors, but the fact is we can't trust anyone in this industry. There's too much money. There's too much money. And you guys, I lost sleep over this situation. You guys will see that video on Friday. I'm really sorry. I'm going to timestamp everything. But anyways, I'm going to pull up this video right now. And let me see here. Boom, 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 boom. Paul Night Cry. I don't know how, but Paul. So I'm going to play this video. I want you guys to take a look at this video. I'm not going to play the whole video, but take a look at this video. And I'm not in construction, you guys. And if you guys can help me spot out any additional deficiencies in this property. Now, after I play that video, we're going to go into report, on the consumer health. We'll dig into what's the $17 trillion of debt. And another crazy thing about the consumer debt right now being $17 trillion is school loans exceed every other debt except mortgage. Did y'all know that? Like, school loans are higher than auto loans and credit cards. There's so much going on. And then after that, you guys, we're going to go into a Forbes article that's just going to break down, basically some opinions kind of on the other side of the coin. So we're going to look at someone else's opinions, recession, interest rates, values, and things like that. And then we'll end basically taking a look at, consumer views, consumer sentiment, and things like that. So I'm going to start with Lennar. I'm going to do my timestamps as well. So we're going to start with this video right here. And again, you guys, I'm going to play this video in 3 different sections. Each section, I'm going to pause. And I want to see if you guys can comment to help me spot any additional deficiencies, because here's what I'm telling you guys right now. And I'm really glad that I'm doing this on the live and not a normal video, because you guys are a lot more, with me on this, right? We're a lot more united, I feel like, on the live, even though there's less people. I think this lady needs a GoFundMe account. I'm taking money out of my own pocket to send an additional structural engineer to her property and a mold inspector. So I'm sorry, guys, but I think we need to help her. One of the beautiful things about YouTube is that consumers and normal people like us have the ability to voice ourselves. So I really hope when that video is released tomorrow, you guys, that we surround this woman with love and we try to figure out ways to help her, because you'll see. But anyways, I'm going to play this video. Let me pull this up right now. Again, I'm going to play 3 portions of it. The first portion is a minute long. And the first portion is basically this woman took video of the construction process. Okay. So the first video is actually before the home is even completed. So you guys take a look at the slab here. Take a look at this and give me your feedback. Let me pull this up right now. Okay. And if you guys can, before I push play, let me know that the audio is playing okay, because I'm going to be quiet. So if you guys can comment, just let me know that the audio is good. But take a look at this video. And again, if you guys can, if anyone is experienced that's watching this, I want you to pay attention to the slab. Let me know if you guys see any issues. Okay, we're going to play this now. Let me know the audio is good.
Laundry room.
Okay, so that's the first segment, you guys. And really, I kind of had, and I'll tell you what's going on here. I had a question here. Okay. Again, I'm not in construction. I know very little about kind of, what we should be looking for and what we should not be looking for. But I didn't know if this slab was poured properly, right? I don't know. I don't know if you guys can comment and let me know what you guys think of this. Maybe it's okay. But here's basically what happened. And this is really, really crazy. Look at this. There is like plywood or something over the foundation. I don't understand. Yeah, this is confusing to me why there's even plywood here. But what happened is there was a leak from the rain. They didn't properly seal this house, and there was a leak, and all of this water poured into this house. Okay, and the crazy thing is she knew about it and she reported it. And instead of them taking care of it, they left it there for weeks. Y'all, they left this there for weeks on the wood. So the wood started bubbling up. This is the structural integrity of this house. So I don't know if you guys want to add anything right there. I know the wet cement, the roof, the thing is, Kim, is the roof was not covered. Okay, it was starting to get on, but it was not covered. Again, but why is there plywood on the foundation? I don't understand any of this. This is weird to me. This is in Miami, Florida. But let me kind of fast forward, you guys, to the second story so you can see the damage. Okay, so they left this water puddled here, okay, on top of the wood. And now we're going to fast forward and, let's look at the damage. Okay, first of all, do you see this again? Again, upstairs, the same. Look at this. There's plywood over the foundation. I don't understand why there's plywood over the cement, but maybe you guys could help me with that. But look at, okay, we're going to start to see the damage. I mean, you can clearly see before I even push play on the video that this wood is already bubbling up. All right, so the plywood is already bubbling up. I don't know if they're trying to, yeah, like Nikki's saying, are they trying to cover additional foundation issues? This is an insane situation. I'm going to play another minute of this. Okay, take a look at the damage after the fact. Jeez. Unbelievable. Look at that. Unbelievable. And there's no audio right now, you guys. Look at this. I mean, so they go about construction. She warns them she's painting it, right? She has the X on there. She's painting it. The wild thing about the story, you guys, is they could have prevented this from the beginning. Instead of them preventing this, they kept trying to hide it. I mean, this is literally the craziest thing. You guys will say, look at the damage. Y'all, look at the damage here. Look at the elevation. Look at the elevation. I mean, the elevation is so. Wait until y'all. It's an inch off. The elevation is an inch off, you guys. This is a crazy, crazy, crazy situation, you guys. And wait until you see the inspection report as far as the structural engineer report. It's going to blow your all's mind. I mean, I was so empathized with this lady. I mean, I was almost in tears. I thought, how lonely it must be and helpless you must feel to have no one believe you. No one believed this woman, you guys. No one believed this woman, and she got bullied. And there was no one to help her. She had no representation. But we're gonna watch this next section as well. This last section, you guys. I don't know if you guys. It's Lennar, Christina. This is Lennar, and I have all of the emails. I had to be safe before I interviewed her, obviously, so I verified what she was saying. Not because I wanted to be mean, but I wanted to make sure that we can prove all of this. And it's like it's just. I don't know, you guys. I'm reading some of the comments here, but this is bad. This is super bad. But anyways, let's watch this next part of this video, you guys. We'll end it on this part of the video, and then we'll go into the consumer debt. But this is when she moved into the house. So this is how they presented her house. I mean, first of all, do y'all see all the trash? Okay, do y'all see all the y'all hear me always like complaining about trash on work sites? Look at how this woman rolls up to her house, and she got the wrong key. So she had to wait outside for hours, by the way. But look at the trash everywhere. Anyways, I want to play this. Let's play a little bit more. Really frustrating. To me, I mean, that's not as, it's not a big as deal as the structural integrity of the house. But I mean, just really crazy. I mean, she didn't have hot water for 2 weeks, you guys. I'm gonna let this play a little bit more. Good morning, I am. Exactly. So that was for tile. That was for tile. So that's why I was wondering, why do they do that? The plywood as well, before all of that. She said it was for the tile. So what she also said is she can put a drop of water on her kitchen countertop, you guys, and one drop of water will go to the other side of the countertop. She said that's how bad the foundation is. That's how bad the structure is of this house. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Lennar. This is Lennar, you guys. Again, and I have all the emails. I have the emails from the VPs. I have pretty much everything here, you guys, to really paint the picture on what happened to this woman. And again, this is this is part of the reason why I'm so emotional. I'm also emotional because here's the thing, you guys, my lease is up in 45 days and I still don't know where I'm gonna live. I still don't know where I'm gonna live. I'm nervous. I'm really nervous. But it scares me. Situations like that scare me because I'm sitting here preaching, to as many people that will listen to be cautious, right? Have the right attitude, have the right mindset. If you want to buy, go buy. Fine, go buy. Don't beat me up because you want to buy. But if you're going to buy, have the right expectations and keep yourself safe. If you don't, you could be like her. All right. And I'm not knocking her. I mean, just that's a brand new house, y'all. That video I just showed you, that's a brand new house. Like I said, I'm going into my own pocket to help her out. You guys will see that video. We're going to go into the consumer debt stuff now, you guys. I really appreciate you. Good morning to everyone. I'm going to do the next timestamp here. Really, really bothers me. Really, really bothers me. Was she stuck in the contract? She was stuck in the contract. She was stuck in the contract and she didn't have representation, Nikki. She didn't. And that was one of the problems, and that's why I'm always preaching to you guys, and we need realtors. Okay. The fact is as consumers, the general consumer needs a realtor because if they don't have a realtor, they're going to get eaten alive. They're going to get eaten alive. And we can see that in the story. There's no question that can happen. The stuff that I'm preaching to you guys, it's not like these are facts, like buyer's remorse, over 80% of people regretting. I mean, these are things that we should really take into consideration because as soon as y'all sign the contract and close, you're done. You're done. And then guess what? I'm closer to being the last man standing. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. We need to get through. We need to be the last man standing. And in order to be the last man standing, in my opinion, we need to take the first hit of a recession, which is job loss. If we get through that round of job losses, you guys, I think a lot of us are going to be winners here. Again, as long as we're increasing our purchasing power as well. Really, really sad stuff here. But anyways, so we're going to go into consumer debt now, y'all. Let me cue this up real quick. So you guys probably saw a whole bunch of reports about the $17 trillion in consumer debt. The reason for those reports is the Federal Reserve Bank of New York actually had put out a report for household debt and credit on Q1 regarding Q1 of 2023. And here's what it says. And we're going to go into a lot more detail. But I just wanted to tell you guys the origin of this. And this I will put in my description if you guys want to go back to the Federal Reserve and see, a little bit more about what they're saying. But here's essentially what they're saying. The total household debt rose by $148 billion or roughly 1% to $17 trillion the first quarter of 2023. You guys, it's no mystery. We have a toxic debt bomb. All right. The defaults are going up. And we'll get through that in our next report. We're going to talk about the defaults. Regardless, that is a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous amount of debt. One thing I wanted to highlight before we went into a different article from Fortune magazine is highlighted here, balances of home equity lines of credit or HELOCs. So that's what HELOC stands for. And you guys, what a HELOC is it's similar to a second mortgage. It's basically kind of like a credit card you attach to your house. So HELOC is a home, it's a line of credit, which means you don't have to draw from it right away. Whereas a second mortgage, a normal second mortgage, you get the money right away. A HELOC, you can draw, you can pay it off and things of that nature. So HELOCs right now have been absolutely exploding and they have increased by $3 billion. That's the fourth consecutive quarter increase following a nearly 13-year declining trend. So I just wanted to point out that anyone in low interest rates that's getting a HELOC, it's better to do that than refinance your entire mortgage into a higher interest rate, generally depending on how high your other mortgage is and how high your second mortgage is. But when people do that, when they get an additional HELOC, they're kind of squashing their affordable payment if they use the HELOC, right? Because generally the interest rate is going to be substantially higher on a second mortgage or on a HELOC. So I just wanted to clarify that. Now let me go into this next article here, you guys. This one's pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to go into a much bigger breakdown on the consumer debt. This is a Fortune magazine. I think you guys, need a subscription, but again, just reference this video. Regardless, I will have a link in the description. Good morning to everyone. I see you guys. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're remaining hopeful. Consumer debt just hit a collective $17 trillion. Here's what to know if you're struggling. Okay. So we already read this $17 trillion in total debt. Let's scroll down and let's go into the delinquencies a little bit because, to be honest with you guys, the delinquencies are really important, right? The delinquencies will collapse the entire banking system if there's too much delinquencies, right? Because when there's delinquencies, the banks and the system's not making money. And in order for them to make money, they have to issue debt that you have to pay. So anyways, for one, total credit card debt remained flat in the first quarter at 986 billion. So the very interesting thing is credit card debt apparently didn't go up that much, right? Very interesting. And neither should it, because generally the start of the year people pay their debt down. But anyways, after racking up credit card debt on gifts and get-togethers over the holidays, consumers typically spend the first few months of the year paying the debt back down. But so here's the thing. It's flat, but generally it goes down. So it's not good news. It being flat is actually bad news. But in 2023, that hasn't been the case. Other balances, including retail cards and other consumer loans, also increased by a whopping 5 billion. Okay. Some experts believe this shows that the average person is relying on credit to cover their daily expenses. Ouch. Think about that. Which have also seen record highs thanks to inflation. All right. So more and more people are using credit cards to live. Imagine, I don't have to imagine how bad that is, you guys, because that happened to me and it is horrible. It is horrible. You feel like you can never catch up. You feel like the world is crushing you. You don't have a hope. What am I going to do next? Oh my gosh, right? Horrible way to live. Horrible way to live. My heart goes out to a lot of people drowning in debt. But I will also say you have the ability to like help yourself, right? And I know there's like medical stuff, but most people have the ability to change their life and improve it, right? I would say almost everyone. Now, the delinquency rate, here's the important part. The delinquency rate among the number of people who fell 30 days behind on credit card payments increased a lot. And about 4.5% of credit card debt transitioned to serious delinquency last quarter, meaning cardholders were more than 90 days past due. You guys, listen to me. This is what I've been waiting for. Unfortunately, the way that delinquencies works from Fed economic data, they don't update that, y'all, until like quarterly. So we got to wait a whole quarter. And I've been waiting this whole time. I'm like, defaults are going to explode. And I just want to point out, here's the smoking gun. Okay. We have a default rate now of 4.5%. I need to look at the chart again, but I believe that's near pre-pandemic or right at pre-pandemic. I think it was 4 or 5% pre-pandemic, but that's up from 3%. Okay, year over year, that's up 3%. Y'all see what I'm seeing here? It's exploding, and that's serious delinquencies. That's like we're done, right? So about 4.5% of credit card debt, it's not being paid. Y'all hear me on this? 4.5% of credit card debt, at least, it's not being paid. Personally, I mean, good. The credit card debt is horrible, but I'm just saying, what's that going to do to the lending institutions, right? It's going to put more pressure and more pressure and more pressure on them. Obviously, we know that. Now, let's keep going. The good news is that new foreclosures remained low at about 35,000, roughly the same amount as the fourth quarter of 2022. So again, basically what this is saying, guys, is loan modification is working. And I have been telling you guys that, the power of loan modification it's really quite incredible. I don't want to go into it on this video, but here's a breakdown, you guys. Let's go over the household debt. Here's a breakdown of the household debt. I hope you guys can see that okay. So I wanted to point out school debt here in a minute, but mortgage debt is at 12 trillion. That's a lot, okay? So that's at 12 trillion. Now, home equity lines of credit is at 340 billion, but look at student loans. Student loans is right here. Student loans, we are at 1.6 trillion. Car loans were at 1.56 trillion, which means school loans are the second highest debt category for consumers. Like overall, that's student loans exceed car loans. How is that possible? How do student loans exceed car loans? Almost every American has a car. Almost every American has like 3 credit cards. How do school loans exceed both auto loans and credit cards? Maybe y'all, that doesn't surprise y'all. To me, that really, really surprises me because they've suspended the payments. So when they turn the payments on again, that's $1.6 trillion of debt that's going to have payments start. Now, the thing with school loans, and obviously, guys, in Lexi actually mentioned this, but the thing with school loans is, the advantage of school loans is they do have an ability to defer your payment and work with the debt holder. So they can actually reduce your payment. It's actually very negotiable. But either way, what this is telling us is consumer debt is absolutely exploding. Consumer debt is absolutely exploding. I think it's only a time before excess savings completely runs out. And when excess savings runs out, what will consumers be left with, y'all? What will consumers overall be left with once excess savings runs out? They're going to be left with historical high debt obligations. And probably what's going to happen is a lot of the boots are going to hit at the same time, which means unemployment. So if all of this stuff, so when unemployment goes up, y'all say it goes up just 1%, everything is going to get worse. Everything, mortgage delinquencies, defaults in credit cards, car loans, all of that. I think it's going to happen similar. I honestly think it's going to happen at the same time. I think the housing market overall is a trap right now. I think some people can find great deals, but I think overall it's a trap. I think overall it's a trap. Again, the last cycle we had a rebound as well. The last cycles we had a rebound as well. Anyways, so here's some interesting stuff, and I'm going to give you guys a breakdown here, but this is how to get debt under control, okay? And this is going over paying more than the minimum and things of that nature, but I want to personally talk to you guys about this, and then we'll go over into our next article, y'all. And our next article is going to be a lot more specific on the housing market and on recession. But let me tell you guys real quick about consumer debt if people are wondering how to get out of it. And you guys know, and a lot of you guys should know that I've been in mortgages for about 21 years, and the predominant amount of my time spent in mortgages was basically helping first-time home buyers, specifically, I don't know why, but first-time home buyers that had challenges and had struggles. And generally what I noticed when someone came to me and said, Travis, can I get a mortgage? And I'm like, I'm sorry, you can't, but I'm not an underwriter, right? Because I have to legally say that. Generally, they had the same issues, their credit, right? It was either their credit or they didn't have enough money for the down payment. Generally, okay, but most of the time it was their credit. And generally, when they're, if they had a low credit score, it's because they're drowning in credit cards. And if you guys have a similar situation, if anyone out there that's watching this has any credit cards at all that they don't have control in, this is what I would do if I was you. And actually, I've already done. Now, that's not to say that we shouldn't use our credit cards. I use my credit card, but I'm using it wisely. Okay, my credit card, my main credit card, gives me cash back. So my wife and I get $200 to $300 cash back per month, and we pay the balance off before the bill is due. By doing that, we just get rewarded for spending our money. So it makes sense to do that. I'm talking to the people that are drowning in debt that don't have the ability to control it. Now, here's how it works, you guys. Each credit card, first of all, you have to understand credit cards are very important. All right. I would say they're the most important debt on your credit profile per se. All right. Now, obviously, the most important thing is to stop any delinquencies, any late payments at all, stop the bad things from happening. But once that happens, what you need to do next is generally get control of your credit cards. And it's important to understand that each credit card is an individual trade line, and each individual trade line impacts your credit profile separately. So if you have 5 credit cards, each of those 5 credit cards is hitting your credit report separately. So say someone has 5 credit cards with different balances. What credit card do you generally pay down first? Okay. And remember this, we need to make sure our credit cards are well under 30% of the credit line, because credit cards are the only debt that has something called utilization ratio. So you gotta play the credit card game, especially if you have bad credit. That's what my issue is with Dave Ramsey. I don't want to talk about it right now though, but we need to know how to use our credit. So if you have that situation and you're wondering what credit card you should pay off first, understand that generally, each credit profile is different, but generally you want to start from the bottom up, okay? Because they're not necessarily measuring the credit line, okay? They're measuring the utilization ratio. So whether the credit card is $10,000 or $500, they're measuring the utilization ratio. So a lot of people think that they got to take the high credit card balances down first. That's not correct. Usually the smartest thing to do is to take the low ones out first and then work your way up. And you never want to close your credit card account. If you close your credit card account, your credit score will go down. And the last thing I want to tell you guys, this is really important. Y'all need to know, at what point does the information report to the bureaus? Okay. So like because it's behind. The bureaus, the credit reports are behind like 30 to 45 days. So at what point are they getting notified of your current balances and your payment history with your credit cards? All right. This is important to know. They get that information from the billing statement. So as long as your credit card is paid down before your billing statement, you can cheat the system. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if 1 month you have an emergency and you have to use your credit card, as long as you pay the balance down under 30% before it bills, they will never know about your emergency. The problem is people generally don't pay the balances to their credit card down until it bills. But the thing is you want to pay it right before it bills. So I hope that helps you guys. And then obviously save your money, stay encouraged, and those types of things. So if you're drowning in debt, obviously I was drowning so much in debt, you guys, I had to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. So I walked away from about $300,000 in credit card debt. At the age of 23, my overhead was like $30,000 a month. All right. I've been in this game for a long time and I've made a tremendous amount of mistakes, you guys. I have made a tremendous amount of mistakes. I'm not particularly a smart person because I got to learn the hard way. I mean, I'm beat up out here, man. I've learned the hard way so many times. But the good thing about that is the empathy. So let's move on to the next thing. You guys are gonna freak out on this next one, y'all. Let me do my timestamp. So we're gonna go over now an article from Forbes. Okay, they're going to make some predictions here. I think this is good. This is going to be the both sides of the coin. So they're not going to be, necessarily agreeing with what I am saying. And I think it's important, again, for us to look at people's opinions. I get upset when I just see toxic cheerleading that's just demeaning, like, oh, this is stupid, blah, blah, blah. But the people that are actually like giving like constructive criticism, I mean, it's super valuable. And that's why they watch this channel. They're getting the same thing. They're trying to get perspective. Everyone's trying to get perspective. Good article. Will the housing market crash in 2023? Experts give a 5-year prediction. So a few experts are going to start giving predictions on what's going to happen the next 5 years in the housing market. All right, let's tee this up a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. Following 2 years of rapid home sales and escalating home price appreciation, the hot housing market began to downshift last summer and is now at a crawl. Thanks largely to the surge in mortgage rates. The rising trajectory of rate increases began March 2022 when the 30-year fixed rate surpassed 4%. The 30-year fixed rate climbed to a 20-year high of 7% in October and is around the mid-6s right now as a consequence of interest rates that are now more than double. I would say, first of all, as a consequence of the low interest rates, but I'm going to read this still, okay? Coupled with a sharp downturn in buying demand, home prices have been in decline. What? Y'all remember? I'm sorry. I apologize. After 2 years of unprecedented sales activity, does this raise red flags that the housing market is on the verge of a crash? Good questions. Good questions to ask. So here's where we're going to start. Again, you guys, they're going to do a little cheerleading. So sit down. Okay, if you have to, sit down. But anyways, are we in this right here, y'all? When I read, I was like, Okay, anyways, let's read this, all right? The Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas identified signs, even the Federal Reserve, okay? Don't listen to me. The Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas identified signs of a brewing U.S. housing bubble, obviously, in 2022 report. Even my 5-year-old daughter spotted that, by the way, and my 7 and 5-year-old daughter spotted that. So good, at least our tax money is going to good purposes here. Though the sharp increase in home prices doesn't indicate a bubble. What? I'm sorry if I did that too loud, that pitch. I'm sorry, you guys. But how does equity growth? Okay, let's keep going. The report found that there are other fundamental factors to consider. These include shifts in disposable income. And what have I been saying? The boots are all going to hit at the same time, you guys. When that unemployment hits, it is going to rock us. I think a lot of things are going to happen at the same time. But okay, disposable income, the cost of credit and access to it, supply disruptions and rising labor and raw construction material costs are among the economic reasons for sustained real housing price gains. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? You know what I noticed here? They're not mentioning the really, really important thing, like why all of this happened. Why all this happened? The money printing. They're not mentioning the money printing, the excess savings. Weak. Okay, let's keep going. Let's go down to here. Okay, when there is a widespread belief that today's robust price increases will continue, the housing market becomes unhinged from those fundamentals. Fear of missing out. If our housing market became unhinged. We know that. We cannot forget that. Or we can and just go buy a house, but I choose not to forget. If many buyers share this belief, purchases arising from fear of missing out can drive up prices and heighten expectations of strong house price gains. Johnny, Jeff, Vital, this is just emotional, man. This is just emotions right here and excess savings. All right, let's keep going. A bubble. Oh, look at this guy. Here we're going to get a definition of the three characteristics of a bubble. A bubble has three defining characteristics: price growth driven by speculation, bubbles are fueled by credit expansion, and bubbles pop. So I would say that we have two of those right now, which is the credit expansion. So the article is going to say we don't have a credit expansion, but that's exactly what we had, you guys. And let me explain why we had a credit expansion. The low interest rates allowed people to afford more money. By having low interest rates, so low it dropped people's debt to income ratios substantially, making them and allowing them to qualify for homes that they would not normally qualify for. So if they cannot normally qualify for the same home, but now yet they qualify for the same home, and now they have the down payment in the form of stimulus, isn't that opening up credit? Isn't it? So maybe the guidelines aren't there, but when you change the fabric of like society with these low interest rates, it's going to change. Do y'all agree with me on there? Anyways. Sorry, guys. And I don't have a crystal ball. I know that different areas, I know local housing market, but when you're worried about people, you guys, you don't sit silently in the corner. When you're worried about people, you get up, you stand in front of it, and you start pointing and screaming, be careful. I'm sorry. All right. I know I drive some people crazy. I'm sorry, but that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. How is today different from the 2008 housing market crash? Among the differences between today's housing market and the 2008 housing crash, is the lending standards are much tighter now due to lessons learned and new regulations enacted from the last crisis. Essentially, that means those approved for a mortgage nowadays are less likely to default than those who are approved pre-crisis lending period. You guys, I'm going to blow your mind here, okay? I'm going to blow your mind here. What if, think about this. What if, and this is true, the mortgages standards right now are way stricter. What if, as a result of the stricter mortgage standards, that's actually going to put us in a worse situation? Think about it. What if that's a worse situation? And why would that be a worse situation? Because the inflation was injected, like I said, into the bedrock of our economy. This wouldn't be an issue if the fundamentals were still there. The fact that fundamentals got unhinged and now we have solid homeowners, that means that this is a huge problem. And probably the only way to fix it is things will continue to crash. I mean, we've already had a banking crisis, right? How did that get swept under the rug so easily? Anyways, I'm so sorry, guys. In the lead up to the Great Recession, the housing market has been fueled by rapid credit expansion, increased leverage, and household expectations for large price growth. How is that different from today? Okay. Rapid credit expansion. How's that different than today? I could pull up Fed charts and show you guys this. They're saying no rapid, credit expansion. I'm saying that's a lie. There was absolutely rapid credit expansion, again, in the form of lower debt to income ratio. When the rate is 2%, your mortgage payment's lower, which means you qualify for more. You guys understand that. This is also going to go into like people have fixed rates versus ARM. I'll read this one. Unlike a fixed rate mortgage, an adjustable rate mortgage or ARM, interest rate changes periodically after the. I am so glad I was in this business in '08, so I know, like, because I went through all this, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, that's not why the housing market crashed. I understand ARMs. The reason the housing market crashed last time is because people couldn't afford their houses. Why couldn't they afford their houses? Because the lenders weren't qualifying them based on their income. You could go stated income. The problem was the lack of restriction. That was the problem, not the ARMs. Now, the ARMs hurt people, but remember this, interest rates actually went down, not up afterward. They went down. So some people's ARMs, guess what? Their payments didn't go up. Did y'all know that? A lot of people that had ARMs last time, not all, trust me, there were some bad ARMs, trust me. But some people, their payment went down. They don't tell you that much, do they? Anyways, I'm telling you, too many people could get houses that they couldn't afford last time. Something similar to this time. Sorry, you guys. I hope I'm not being too. Sometimes I forget I'm doing a live video and I'm just like in my own world. Sorry about that. This brings up another important distinction between 2008 and today. Most borrowers now have fixed rate mortgages, and that is correct. As a result, even though mortgage rates have doubled, current homeowners are seeing no change in their monthly principal and interest payments. And again, you guys, okay, fine, that's fair, whatever. Another key difference between today's housing market and the 2008 housing market is that more homeowners today, this is true, and this is why I'm telling you guys, like, this is a huge problem. The bedrock and the foundation of our economy was injected with like fraud and free money, like the free money. Anyways, which can help them weather a downturn. But late 2009, nearly a quarter of U.S. homeowners were underwater or had negative equity in their homes, meaning they owed more than their mortgage than what it was worth. And I'll say that number these days, right now, it's skyrocketing up. Everyone knows that. And remember, you guys, it takes how much to sell your house? About 8%. Take a look at this. This is interesting. Warning signs that could dampen the housing market. Experts say that the combination of high mortgage rates, inflated home values, lower buying demand, and a recession is a receipt for a challenging year ahead for the housing market. You guys, I'm telling you, and I don't want to root for this. But I do want to warn you guys, and that's what I'm saying. Take the hit. We're going to have to take the hit, the unemployment hit. Probably all of us is going to go through some period of like stress or anxiety when it comes to employment. I'm already going through it, but I should go through it because I'm in mortgage. I'm in real estate and we're getting hit hard. So I'm going through that myself right now. So I think I have a right to say this. But anyways, warning signs, pretty simple to understand that with mortgage rates at the highest level since the early 2000s and affordability at a record low, many potential buyers are priced out. Affordability at a record high. Many potential buyers are priced out of the market, are unwilling to buy a home, and fears of home prices declining. But that's not entirely true. And this is why that's not entirely true. If the Federal Reserve pivots tomorrow, we are doomed. You guys disagree with me? If the Federal Reserve lowers rates tomorrow, we're doomed. The housing market is going to get destroyed. It'll get way worse of a situation. The thing is, guys, it's not because people aren't buying right. All these people on the sidelines, they're not buying because they're priced out. There's a percentage of people that would buy right now if they weren't priced out. Like the Federal Reserve is forcing people to the sideline. They can't force me to the sideline. I'm forcing myself. I could go buy a house right now. But I'm just saying they're being forced to the sideline. So it's not, you got to kind of read in between the lines here. The Federal Reserve is slowing the housing market. The rise in mortgage rates is due in part to the efforts of the Federal Reserve to tamp down inflation, which began surging in 2021 and has since reached 40-year highs. The Federal Reserve has raised its federal funds rate, the interest rate at which depository institutions such as banks and credit unions trade federal funds. So the federal funds rate, the interest rate that they're raising, that's what they're letting other lenders borrow, right, at that rate. And then they let us borrow from their money. It's just, this whole debt game is just really wild. Now listen to this. This is interesting. What would a recession mean for the housing market? Economists at the National Bureau of Economic Research describe a recession as a prolonged period lasting at least a few months during which there is a significant widespread decline in economic activity. Here are some signs. Obviously, 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. But, and here's why they didn't call the last recession right here. The White House actually Y'all see the warning. How are so many people forgetting the warning signs? Y'all remember when the White House changed the definition of the recession last year? Do y'all remember that? I remember it because I was one of the first person that made that video because I was like shocked. And I got that from a viewer. And obviously the inverted yield curve as well. So how do people forget this? Anyways, despite the highest inflation the country has seen in 40 years, there is some good news in the economy, a strong labor market. That seems like a bad news, with a national unemployment rate hovering near ultra lows at 3.5%. Wages and salaries are up over 5.1%. Do y'all feel that? You know, I'm in real estate, so I know I'm in a bubble, but like in my industry, it's the exact opposite. In my industry, it's just like people are making less money and unemployment is actually going up. And actually, but again, I understand that's in real estate and also it's in tech. But do you guys feel that same heat? I don't know if you guys feel the same thing as me. Maybe it's just me because I'm in real estate and I can see it and smell it. I actually had sit down meetings with my employer. Anyways, why the housing market will probably not crash. I am only going to read the line that I highlighted. This is a recent article. I want to point this out. This is a recent article, and I'm going to read this section right here. This is the narrative, you guys. The narratives out there from like the top people, like the people at the top. It's just so bad. Look at it. Let me read this line to you guys. Okay. They're saying this is why it's not going to crash. Prices are still like 5 to 6% above where they were this time last year. Prices were like what are we talking to, a surfer here or an economist? And I knew I'm from SoCal, so I talk like a little bit loose sometimes. Prices are like 5 to 6% above where they were this time last year. Hmm. Hmm. A chief economist at Redfin said. Do y'all hear what I just said? Let's finish this last part. They're down from earlier this year. Actually, they're actually up, but okay. But they're still above where they were last year. So I don't think that qualifies as a cash. If we're just gonna live in the land of imagination and just blurt out random crap, then yeah, there's never gonna be a crash because we're just making crap up. This is the Redfin chief economist saying that houses are still up year over year by 5 to 6%. You guys see this? This guy's saying prices are still up from this time last year, 5 to 6%. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to go to his company real quick, his own company. All right. I'm going to go to his own company at Redfin, looking at median sales prices, or we go somewhere else if we want. But I'm just going to go to his company. And clearly, the prices are under where they were last year. And they have been under where they were last year since about February 20. Remember, I called that. You guys remember that? Johnny, I know you remember that. I called that end of February, year over year. That's when we hit it. Prices have had year over year decline since February. What is this dude talking about? What is this dude talking about? We're what? Let's see, we're at negative 3% year over year. And that's as of the end of April. So I get it. We have actually 2 weeks we need to add to that. But look at, again, their own people is saying they're still above what they were last year. So I don't think it qualifies as a crash. And I don't think he qualifies to share his opinion. I don't think he qualifies to advise us. All right. Maybe you guys don't agree. Okay. Maybe you guys don't agree. Let's see here. What will happen to the housing market after a recession? So we'll read this real quick, guys, and then I have to do an event today. Then I'll go over one more article, and then I have to run out. I'm doing a pretty big event downtown Houston. Now, what will happen to the housing market after a recession? While economists have different projections for how likely we are to enter a recession and precisely when that might happen, they generally agree that we are headed for one. And I'm saying we're going to have a recession because ain't no one can afford to buy things. We have record high unaffordability. So again, when the money runs out, we're left with an inability to buy things because it's so expensive, or at least consumers are, right? And if credit runs out, like if the credit tightening happens even more, it's just going to be an insane show. As the economy slows, longer term rates, including mortgage rates, will begin to fall from current peaks. So again, this is saying after a recession. Okay, combined with cooler home price growth. So they're also saying We should have cooler home price growth, probably decline. They just don't want to say it. We expect more prospective home buyers back in the market in the coming years. They say that buyers will return, but demand will depend on how much mortgage rates decline and their level of severity of the forecasted recession. Those would all be, let me see here, those will all be generations of buyers and income groups as we do continue to have a demographic tailwind that would help boost home buyer demand. So interesting. And then it goes into low housing supply will remain an issue. We have new constructions, and then it goes into like what home buyers should do. I'm not even going to read this, you guys. This is just complete nonsense. If you guys want to come back here and you guys want to read that entire article, you can. But I feel like there are some good perspectives that they're mentioning, but I just don't understand the misinformation here. And because they have a team of people to hold them accountable. I'm a one-man army. I make mistakes, but this article was released 2 days ago. That article was released 2 days ago, y'all, May 16th. So that doesn't make sense. But let's go over real quick, y'all, some consumer sentiment, and then I'm going to end this video. Okay. So we're going to finish up here really quickly and do a timestamp at 51. All right. Let the show begin. So this is basically, I covered a little bit of this yesterday, and I think it's important to stay on top of this as well as excess savings, because consumer emotion is extremely powerful and consumers are starting to get it. And, the majority of Americans are now understanding that home price growth is probably not going to happen. And that's really important because we need to be on the same page, right? Consumers need to be on the same page. So 21% only say it's a good time to buy a house. That's the lowest ever. So this poll, only 21% of people, and I know you guys were joking like, oh, that's from realtors. That's funny. I know, I get it. It's probably from the realtors, right? But 21%, only 21. That's good news. Prior to 2022, 50% or more constantly thought it was a good time to buy. Insane. So the normal is over 50. Right now it's 21. Think about it. That's insane. So you guys can see the metrics right here. It's obviously been plummeting since, let's see here. Geez, it's been plummeting a long time. It actually, look at the fear of missing out happened in 2021. It went up. And then, geez, look at this. It's no mystery, you guys. The housing market's broken and someone's going to pay for it. It has to. I mean, Americans aren't going to put up with this. Some other interesting things, again, if you guys want to go into this, it just breaks down how many people think it's going to stay the same or decrease. And it also breaks down like East, Midwest, South. For some reason, Midwest, people in the Midwest are way less optimistic. Way less if you look here. 44% versus 62% in the East. Very interesting to see that. Now, here's where I will want to kind of finish on and hone in on here, y'all. Let me move my picture out of the way here. Okay. I'll get to the bottom line here, but this is really cool because this is going to compare. This is first of all, this is expectations over the next 12 months. So the question is, over the next year, do you think the average price of homes in your area will increase or stay the same or decrease? Okay. So it's comparing 2022 to 2023. In the East is basically unchanged. So people out East, I don't know, the housing market out there is all messed up, but they're not really believing in the caution, right? But when we go to the Midwest, it went from 65% to 44%. That is a deduction of 21%. So 21 point drop for people out in the Midwest. Isn't that crazy how it drastically different depending on the region? Now people in the South down 11, but also people in the West, okay, 21% drop. It went from 76, was it even that high? Crazy, to 55. Pretty wild, you guys. People are starting to get it. I'll read the bottom line and then we'll be done here. Now, the bottom line, fewer Americans now than ever before believe it is a good time to buy a house. Thank you, America. Thank you, America. Gives me a lot of faith. The past 2 years are the only times that they have found less than half Americans endorsing home purchasing as far as going up in the last few years. I'm so sorry. I totally mispronounced that. These bleak home buying assessments are fairly uniform across most subgroups of America. It is likely that Americans' pessimism about home buying reflects the high prices and high interest rates that are conspiring to make mortgage payments less affordable. These attitudes may keep many prospective homebuyers out of the market, thank goodness. At the same time, however, Americans still regard real estate as the best long-term investment over stocks. I would also agree with that. Gold or other options, even though fewer give real estate the distinction they have in recent years. So again, that's why I'm telling people, like, I love real estate. I think we should all own it and we should all hold our real estate. But there are times of caution that need to happen and transpire. And that's really what I'm saying here. And now I believe is a time of caution. Although 19% of Americans expect home prices to decrease in the coming year, far below the 38 and 34% who did in 2008 and 2009. So respectively, they are much less likely than in the past 2 years to expect prices to go up. So anyways, you guys, I don't know, pretty wild. Let me go here. So that's going to do it. That's this morning's housing market update. You guys, I'm going to start getting ready. I have to go to work and do a whole bunch of stuff and do some cheerleading myself. I don't want to cheerlead, but I have to. It is important. And, I don't know, guys, if you can't shoot up, maybe I could take a couple questions before I go. It's only 9:41. If you guys maybe have a couple questions, go ahead and shoot that up. But, I hope you guys like this morning update. I'm trying to do the best I can to keep you guys ahead of the trends so that we're not blindsided. It's been really, really a struggle because I've been having to adjust because of the job market and, what's happening in my main employment. So, it's been harder for me to get you guys going. And obviously I took a break at the beginning of this month. So I'm sorry I took a bit of a break, but I really appreciate you guys coming back here. Look out for tomorrow's video, you guys. Really listen to the story. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. I don't think that there's really too many questions here. I really appreciate you, Cindy. Good morning. Yes, I got that from the institutional investors. I appreciate all you guys. Cindy, appreciate you guys. Cyrus, always, I just appreciate our community, you guys. I'm going to get off. I'm going to get running here. I don't see really any too much questions. I appreciate you, Catherine, a lot. What's the big tax on mortgages you were talking about for investors, Kim? Okay, Jeff, hang in there, buddy. You guys show Jeff and Johnny some love. Like all of us guys, that they're trying to hang in there. We're all, even if we don't have the same opinions and we don't always have the same opinions, we're all on the same team. We're all on the same team here. All of us want a balanced housing market. And the thing is I don't want, I guess I feel guilty, but I don't want to belittle realtors. I want realtors to do good, and if there's any realtors watching this right now, understand that that's what I'm saying. Realtors. Okay. I'm just saying adapt. Okay. We're in a different housing market right now. People are confused. They don't want to be sold right now. People want to be consulted with someone they can trust that's qualified. That's what they want. They don't want the sales. Anyways, you guys may disagree with me, but I'm going to get out of here. You guys absolutely love you guys, man. Love you guys so much. You guys hang in there, stay hopeful. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you guys already know I wish you luck and I hope you win. You guys take